Mr. Seder, this is Matt Rushmore from Cincinnati, Ohio. I think I called about 2 weeks ago. I'm actually calling again to see what you think about the Keystone Pipeline. As you know, the president vetoed the bill that was given to him by the Congress, and the State Department has already released some of its findings and said that the Keystone Pipeline is, in fact, a really meaningless piece of legislature. And as a liberal, like I said before, I really did not. I mean, I was really, really against the Keystone Pipeline. I felt that we should try to find other sources to invest in that can, such as the infrastructure, which civil engineers gave our nation a D-minus for. And so I thought that, with the State Department's findings, though, is saying that, hey, the jobs are minimal and the climate change is, obviously the tar sands are different than regular oil. But still, they said the climate change will still continue with or without the Keystone Pipeline. I thought, why don't we use the Keystone Pipeline as a means of, let's say, to negotiate with the Republicans and say, since it's a meaningless piece, why don't we try and use it and try to figure out if we can get something else that could be passed in place of the we can get something on our agenda, and we give them the Keystone Pipeline, and so they feel like they have something and we have something too.
Well, all right. Two things. One, I'm not convinced that the administration still doesn't feel that. Understand that what the president vetoed was not a he has not weighed in on the decision as to whether or not to permit Keystone. What the reason why he vetoed was because it was more about whose purview this decision was. So from the perspective of the president, this permitting should not be done by Congress. It should be done by the president in conjunction with the State Department. And so that decision has not happened yet. My hope is it gets rejected because, look, the Republicans only want it from a political standpoint. And it has just as much value to them, frankly, the president vetoing it and saying no, as the president saying yes. And so I don't think that there's anything that, I don't know from the president's perspective, certainly not from my perspective, that there's nothing that we were getting the trade-off. I will also add that the EPA has criticized the State Department's analysis in terms of the impact on climate change. But even leaving that aside, if I thought there was something that was worthwhile getting from a Republican Congress that was gettable by permitting a Keystone Pipeline, it would be worth even contemplating. But the reality is there isn't. And I don't even think the Republicans care that much about Keystone. Nobody does. I don't even think the people. I don't even think the people who would stand to get the permit at this point care about it. I think they would just sit on the permit because oil is too cheap, and I don't think they would start pulling it out of the ground for years to come. So and I don't even know how long the permit would last for. I don't think it would last in perpetuity, and so I think. The one thing that whole vote showed was that there's no political price to it because there's no constituency. It was all just big money anyways, and they don't think they can make the money anymore, and so end of conversation. So, that's my sense of that. But I appreciate the call, and please call in again.